And the man who knows all about Las Vegas, except Las Vegas is not open. Kirk Clyatt, great to see you once again.
It is. It is. This a year ago today, as we record this. We record this on March 18th, at least Las Vegas time. Of course, Australia lives in the future. But this was day 2 of our 79-day lockdown. And I went shopping a year ago today, and here's the way it looked. Oh my gosh, just amazing. What a change. Mike is going to be showing you some scenes as we go through of when I took a stroll down the trip. It was a trip to stroll down the strip back in late March of last year. But thankfully, we are coming back, Mike. And one of the reasons is, of course, the COVID vaccine. I got my first shot for the vaccine, the Pfizer vaccine, on Saturday. And wow, I mean, it was a wonderful experience, actually. Thousands of people at the location that I was at, Cashman Field, which is where our former minor league baseball team used to be known as the 51s because of Area 51. Over 6,000 people that day got a shot at Cashman Field, and the Nevada National Guard, very well organized, getting people through there as quickly as possible. But whoa, the side effects were intense. As you might know, if you've seen me before with Mike, I did have COVID back to start the year. Welcome to 2021. It was a pretty difficult experience. And Mike might even show some B-roll of what I look like in the midst of COVID. And then to get the shot, the next day, it was like COVID light. I had the night sweats. It was just, I had some work scheduled. Actually, I had to have my partner help me with it because I couldn't do it myself. I was that sick. But thankfully, I talked to my amazing daughter who's a doctor, and she was telling me that if you've had COVID, a lot of people are saying they got the worst reactions on the second shot, but if you've had COVID, what she was telling me is you often have the worst reactions off the first shot, and the fact that you do have these side effects is actually a good thing because what it means is you're having a good immuno reaction to that vaccination and will have a strong resistance against it. So I got it now 4 or 5 days ago. I'm feeling much better today, but be prepared for that, especially if you've had COVID, to have a pretty intense reaction. But it's what we need to get us back up and going. And here in Nevada, starting on April 5th, it's open for everybody. Beginning April 5th, everybody 16 and over is eligible to get a COVID vaccination. And that is just a great thing for our city, a great thing for our community as we try to come back from what was really devastating. We were rocking along. Beginning of 2020, we had less than 4% unemployment in Las Vegas. 1 year ago today, it was 1 in 3. It was 33% unemployment. As the city, as you see from some of the video shots, it's just the strip, wall-to-wall people, ground to a halt. It's been an amazing year, and spring is beginning. It's a nice warm day. Got my Vegas Golden Knights jersey on. That's our NHL hockey team. It's kind of crazy. You think of temperatures 45 degrees. You don't necessarily think of ice hockey, but we've got a pretty good team here in the Mojave Desert. So they are now allowing a few fans into the T-Mobile Arena for their games. So I think the end, we're not completely out of the tunnel of COVID hell, but the end is certainly in sight.
You seem to be agreeing with what one of our guests, Kevin Byrne from North Queensland Enterprise North, was saying. The vaccine, that 7-letter word vaccine, that's probably the ticket, that's probably the magic cure, that's probably it to get things going back to normal. How do you feel about that?
Oh, absolutely. You got it. You've got to get it. And I think there will be side effects. My 84-year-old mother got her first shot. She's going to get her second shot because there's 3 weeks with the Pfizer and the Moderna vaccines, 3 weeks between shots. The Johnson & Johnson, I was kind of hoping to get that one because that's one and done. That's still in pretty short supply. From what I understand, there's probably only a handful, maybe less than 1,000 people here in Nevada that have gotten the Johnson & Johnson, the J&J vaccine so far. The vast majority of people, including myself, have gotten the Pfizer vaccine. And I was talking to a friend of mine. They got their first shot. No reaction at all. Me knocked out from it. And I'm just hoping, I'm actually, the next time I'm booked on April the 3rd, which is a Saturday, to get my second shot, 3 weeks from my first shot. I'm going to plan nothing for that weekend, just in case there's a reaction to it. But that short-term pain for long-term gain. No one, if you've had COVID, as I've had, that was a scary, dangerous experience. Remember, I still got it in the bedroom. The pulse oximeter, reading your blood oxygen levels practically continuously. It was a horrible, scary experience. So if you've been through COVID, I don't think there's very many people that would hesitate to get that vaccination, because it really brings us back to life. It brings Vegas to the way it was back in the first part of 2020, before our city, our state, our nation, and the world just came to a complete screeching halt. And probably very few significant cities in the world hit harder economically than right here in Las Vegas.
So how do you think, though, Vegas will get back on its feet? Do you think it'll be a slow, because there's that fear factor, isn't there? People still are scared, and they're still saying you can get COVID even with the vaccine.
Yeah, that's true. And be honest with you, if I was somebody living, I don't know, pick any city, pick Denver, I would still probably wait a few months to come back, because the shows haven't revved up yet. There's starting to be a few. We're up to 50% capacity yet. The pools are opening up now. There's still a bunch of hotels that haven't, at least 13, that have not reopened, including one of my faves. I could just about see it in the distance there, Eastside Cannery. It has been closed now for over a year, with no signs of opening anytime soon. The key to especially getting a tourist and convention area open like the Strip is getting those visitors back here. Some of the local casinos have actually done okay that target the local market. But the flashy ones, the ones that you see on TV, the ones you're familiar with on the Las Vegas Strip, they still have tremendous vacancies and occupancies. And of course, there's all kinds of talk now about diversifying the economy. That happened back in 2008 as well, when we had the economic crash there, because we are still so based on the visitor, tourism, gaming, convention economy, with about 1/3 of our economy based around that. But the signs are good. Here we are in the middle of March, and the first big convention is actually scheduled for June at this beautiful new convention center, expansion of the convention center. It's the largest in the world. And Mike, I'll give you one guess. It's a huge convention. I've not been in it, but I've been by it and seen some of the exhibits a few times. A massive convention. Any idea what the name of it is?
No idea at all.
You want to take a guess? Take a shot?
Would it be a sexpo?
We have a few of those too. The New Virgin, that's one thing nice. The New Virgin used to be the Hard Rock New Virgin Hotel Casino. That opens on March 25th. We've got this huge new resorts casino, which is run by the Genting Group. I believe they're based, actually, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, in Malaysia. But the name of the convention, one of our big ones here, it has been approved to come back in June. It's the World of Concrete.
Well, they're trying to cement their position.
That is exactly right. And that will open the door. If that is okay, the world. I got to take a sip of Coke before I continue with this here. The concrete's just gotten me all choked up.
All the fibers. Okay, before we wrap this...
Let me say that again. I just want to feel it. The world of concrete. Okay, I'm good now.
Okay, now... The big question, I've had many calls, many emails. They want to know, Kirk loves his gambling. People love the shows. Kirk adores the buffets. Are they coming back?
No, I mean, it really was. It was a huge lifestyle change. I mean, this is small potatoes compared to someone who's, living in a 1-bedroom apartment with 2 kids. I mean, I can't even imagine what they were going through, just starting to go through a year ago. And finally, we're starting to get some of the schools open. Next month, finally, there'll be in-person instruction. But I actually, for lunch, just a couple of hours ago, at a buffet, but it was not a casino buffet, a place called Golden Corral, which is actually a southern chain of buffets. It's like being back in South Carolina, here in southern Nevada. So it's a pretty tasty chain. If you like southern food, like those yams with sweet potatoes, yeah, we got them for you. But they are going to do extremely well. They have folks serve you. You cannot serve yourself. But they had a really nice lunchtime business, and they are going to profit because many, many of the buffets are not opening back up. The last casino buffet I had, March 17th, St. Patrick's Day, 2020. Delicious corned beef at Boulder Station. Was just there yesterday. And they are turning that into a food court, which I think Red Rock Resorts is making a big mistake with that. Talked to some people with Boyd Entertainment. They own, right over here, see right over there, Sam's Town, which is a huge casino here on what's called the Second Strip in Las Vegas, the Boulder Highway. Talk about that opening in July of August. But is the buffet culture coming back to Las Vegas? That is one of the things that maybe changed for a long, long time, if not forever, because of the dynamics of COVID. It'll be interesting to see how the business and cultural dynamic changes at Boulder Station, because I used to joke to some of the folks working there. There were so many kids, especially Hispanic families, that would come in. And I see tables of 10, 15, 20 people all together in one group, how the dynamics of their clientele and their business changes as they go forward with putting in a food court instead of a buffet. But they are a couple coming back. I think it's called the Wicked Spoon at the Cosmopolitan. These are the upscale buffets. I mean, that's a buffet that I think if you walk in for dinner, it's like $50-$60. But they are going to be reopening. But the ubiquitous buffet that's everywhere, not so much. South Point, they have got now all 11 of their restaurants open, and that includes their buffet. But the buffet where you serve yourself instead of having someone serve you, that I think for the foreseeable future, I would say really for the course of the next few years, will be a thing of the past.
Well, all very interesting, Kirk. Can't wait for the for everything to open up. Just as we wrap this up, I just got to describe what Kirk looks like at a buffet. It's a bit like Pac-Man, from one end of the table and keeps going to the end.
I don't ever wear this jersey, which I am going to, believe it or not, I am going to take this jersey and I'm going to put it on a eBay auction for the benefit of this 3 Square food bank here in Las Vegas, because they have done, I mean, it almost makes me tear up to think what a remarkable job 3 Square has done here in Las Vegas. They have given out, I mean, I can't even fathom how many tons of food. So I'm going to sell the shirt off my back for the folks at 3 Square Food Bank coming soon. And we'll make sure you know when that auction is up on eBay. But it has been an amazing year. It has been an amazing year. Las Vegas has been through so much. Honestly, if you're planning a trip from overseas, well, we haven't opened up the borders yet. But I would say that might be a possibility by the time we get into the fall. And a real bellwether, well, it'll be interesting, of course, as World of Concrete does in June. But if that does well, that will open the door to the other major shows and events that we've got going on. And, of course, the big one is CES, the Consumer Electronics Expo in January. And if that comes back in full force next year, then I think we can say that the worst is all behind us. But we've still got a ways to go to get out of the tunnel. But I'm looking over. I think I see some light. I think I see some light, Mike.
Kirk Clyatt from Las Vegas, the buffet man himself, gambling man himself, I know from experience. Thank you very much.
Bye, Mike.